G, what's up? What's going on, my man? Who
What's
we got
going
this
on,
week?
Matty P? Well, we got the 6'8" dominant postman. Played for a short little while, I think, man. But we always talk about quality over quantity with the one and only from Pearland, Texas, Mr. Micah McAdams.
McAdams. Yep. Pelito himself is joining the show. Micah,
You're gonna find out. You're gonna find out why we call him Pelito.
1, 2, 1, 2. All right, let's roll. Welcome.
You're listening to the Saddle Up Podcast,
where we discuss everything related to UTRGV athletics, past or present. We'll catch up with old teammates, friends, and take you down memory lane
with exclusive interviews.
This is the Saddle Up Podcast, the voice of your covered walkway streets.
So dope.
This is gonna be awesome.
Stay tuned for new episodes every week.
From Bronx Village to the Fieldhouse, we'll cover it all.
Hell yeah, dude. Carpe diem.
So saddle up and let's go.
Let's go. Saddle up, partner.
All right, guys, welcome back to another great episode of Saddle Up Podcast. Obviously, I'm one of your co-hosts, Matt. G, who we got in the house today?
Hey, we got the one and only Micah McAdams. I mean, he was like a 8-sport athlete in high school. I think he did tennis, golf, basketball, baseball, football, ballet, pole vault. Yeah, I mean, he was like an all-around dude. He was one of our teammates.
There is that picture of him in a tutu surfacing. Yes, yeah.
Absolutely. It's going to surface now that he's making, global podcast news and is on this interview with us. But, yeah, man, the one and only, man, Micah McAdams, true friend. Man, former basketball player there at UT Pan American, and we're gonna get to his story, man. Pan American, he didn't spend a lot of time there, but he made a big impact. It's not about the time that you spend there.
Yeah, Michael was there for a good time, but he wasn't there for a long time.
For a long time, that's right, Troubadour. That's right. That's right.
Oh, Michael, welcome to the show, man. It's great to see you, dude.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me, guys. Hey, that tutu picture, that was like a late night at the Bosque Apartments. That's been burned, bro. That's been burned.
There's absolutely nothing left of that.
No evidence.
I know somebody that can Photoshop something. We can recreate
it. Yeah. Don't get Matt upset, man. This dude, he's the king of the Photoshop over here.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, Michael, where are you at now, man? We know obviously, but tell the audience where you're at now.
So I live in Pearland, Texas, suburb of Houston. I've been teaching. I'm actually in the teacher's lounge right now. I teach at Deer Park High School. So I'm on my.
You're not gonna get in trouble. You're not getting in trouble, right?
The door's locked. No, so I'm safe and secure.
And so you're on your conference, right? It's not like you just stepped out and your kids are in the classroom.
Hey,
I'll do this podcast.
They're watching Remember the Titans. So it's a history thing.
Yeah.
But we live in Pearland. I've got 2 boys. One's in high school, one's in junior high. And we'll be married 19 years in May. So
man, God bless her.
We were there at the wedding.
You were. And I bet you guys weren't like, this is going to be like, no, I'm just kidding.
G and I were ushers at that wedding.
You were.
Yeah, this is not going to work.
At least y'all got invited. G invited me the night before to his.
Yeah,
but we won't get into that. We won't get into that, G. I'm not going to bring that up. I'm sorry.
Let's not forget. I thought you had left the country. I really did. I thought you had left the country. I thought, your wife had kind of just taken you, and I hadn't heard from you in a while. I think I tried to call you maybe, man, I don't know. Did we have cell phones back then?
No.
Maybe I tried to. Did I send you an AOL email?
You paged me. You paged me on my.
Yeah. I think I paged you on your beeper. Yeah. And you never called back. So.
It's cool, man. I forgot about it by now. We're good.
Apparently you haven't. Saddle Up exclusive. Micah is still upset. Michael McAdams is still upset.
The podcast turns into a therapy session. Let's talk about this.
Let's talk about this significant letdown that happened about 20 years ago.
Yeah. So So moving on though. So we know you because you played basketball with us, right? You were recruited out of high school by who recruited you, Coach Brooks?
So I was Delray's first recruit.
Okay.
All right.
So I was out of high school. I was going to Weatherford Junior College. Now, I was going to Weatherford because I wasn't a very good student. I had some offers, but I chose to go to Weatherford. I was playing in the Fondy Rec League, and Delray, this guy sits in the stands, comes up after the game, is like, my name's, introduce himself. I love Delray. He and I got along great.
Yeah.
But Delray comes up, says, "Hey, I want you to come down to UT Pan American." I'm like, "Where?" Like, I had no. That following weekend brings me down there. I checked. It was awesome. I mean, it was. They offered me on the spot. Ended up coming. I think that was like June before school started in August. So it was a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah, I got a quick, story. Coach Harrington, we had always hung out, in that at that time, and I think it was myself and maybe Brian and some other, maybe Michael Mancias. We're not going to bring in Mike, Doc Mancias. Yeah. We need permission to talk about Mikey on the show.
We need permission.
And a permission slip from his mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember Coach Harrington coming up to me and going, "G, you're my man." I was like, "Wow, what's up? We need this kid. Name is Micah McAdams. He's going to visit campus. We need to show him a good time. We need to, you need to take him out and show him a good time, man. Maybe the best restaurant, take him to the best restaurant, just kind of show him a good time, man. We need to sign him." So, we're not going to get into what that night looked like because I really value your family. And if your sons listen to this podcast, we're going to go ahead and just kind of move forward. Let's fast forward.
I do remember though, they said, "Hey, they're going to take you to Mexico." And I was
you know what? That's right.
And we're not.
That's
and I was
right.
like, "Wait." So you got to remember. So I was very naive, and they were like, "You're going to Mexico." I was like, "Wait, I can do that?" Like, "Oh yeah, it's fine. Go on." We went to Frida.
We went to Frida's
Friday nights. Frida's,
Shout out to Frida's on Friday night. That's right, man.
And I was scared to death. I was like, "Bro, what's going on here?" We crossed over, guys with guns. I was like, they're like, "It's fine, dude. Relax."
Just call your parents. Just make sure that they know that you're okay.
Everyday Friday. It's a typical June Friday. Like, you're good. You're good. And so, fast forward, you end up signing because of G's
Frida trip,
hosting you on the recruiting visit.
Street tacos, and the Frida nightlife at Reynosa. Yeah. So you talk to us about baseball. Well, didn't you? Weren't you like a great baseball player recruited out of high school as well, or?
So
how did that work?
I quit playing baseball my junior year in high school. I wanted to focus on basketball. But after I hurt my knee, after I had my knee surgery, like I would go over and play catch and throw and do all that stuff with the guys at UTPA. And Treadwell, who was there, the head coach who was there at the time, was like, "Hey, you can walk on here." Well, again, my student stuff backfired on me because my grades were so bad. But I ended up leaving Pan Am after a year and a half and going to play junior college baseball.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yep. I went to New Mexico Junior College. So I went from beautiful, Edinburgh, palm trees, 55 degrees, to 80, just hot, windy, basically West Texas. So I went and played baseball there for a year and a half and transferred to Lamar after that.
Well, let's rewind a little bit. Talk about UTPA, your UTPA days. I know that you signed and obviously got to know the two people that would now bring you on to the fastest growing podcast in probably about a 2-mile radius from Olmito to Rancho Viejo. And but nonetheless, man, it's fast growing, man. right?
It is fast growing. It's fast
It's
growing.
fast growing. It's growing there in the Olmita area. But anyway, so talk to us about that time, man. Like, we hung out a lot. We were good friends, and we had some really good times. But what were your favorite memories, man, from that short time
From your
that
short
you had?
stint at Pan Am?
Yeah.
Dude, we keep throwing the short part out there.
Yeah, it's okay.
But
We just-
honestly, the Valley is one of those places people don't realize it unless they're there.
Mhm.
Like I remember, I went from UTPA to New Mexico to Beaumont to Lamar to play baseball, and by far the best people on the planet were in the Valley. Like everybody took care of me. It was one of those things. Like no matter where we went, people took care of us. I mean, we were
you were
terrible.
6'8" in the Valley, so people knew who you were.
Exactly.
You weren't there very long, but they knew who you were. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I remember, let's Yvonne, Big
Shout
O
out
was
Ivana Starshevich. Yep. El
Yvonne
Presidente.
Stars. Dude, I mean, that dude was like, he was like, I think he kind of took me under his wing, as he said.
Mhm.
He had the shack on the back of the bus that nobody's allowed to go to. He let me sit in the back of the bus. That was a big deal. That was a huge deal. But
Yeah.
I was trying to think about the other night. Some of the stuff in the Valley was just, it was a good time. It was a good memory. The basketball, I think we won 3 games, maybe 4.
Okay.
Not great.
Your
But
freshman year, we
we
won 3. We won 3.
Yeah, I think, but we would always get a ton of people coming to games. Like
Yeah.
Yes.
like for a team that wasn't, I mean, I say wasn't very good. It was.
We were competitive.
I was
I mean,
going to say.
if you look back at all those, if you look back at the schedule and like you can look it up on the internet, you can Google it, but
Well, our first game was at Oklahoma State. We were playing.
I want to talk about that game. Yes.
Playing against draft picks. So let's hold on. We can talk about that now. So I told this is again.
Are they here? Are they there for you? Are they?
No.
Okay, good.
But they had Desmond Mason.
Desmond Mason
was NBA dunk champ.
Yep.
My first minute going into the game. So you got to remember. So I'm from Deer Park High School. So I was a big fish in a small pond. Well, Desmond Mason goes baseline. I'm like, and I didn't know who Desmond Mason was. So I go up and he jumped over me and dunked it. And I'm like, okay, this is different.
It's not going to be all right. Yeah.
But I mean, I think they beat us by 30. But I mean, you look at the schedule we played. We played Illinois at Illinois. We played TCU, who had 3 future NBA dudes. I mean, dude, we didn't play soft. I mean,
No.
We went and played some programs.
We played some giants.
Yeah.
We played some giants. Yeah.
And we were pretty competitive, minus Oklahoma State and TCU that dropped almost 200 on us. But
well, in our defense, we didn't have a lot of time to gel.
No,
there was a bunch of new guys on that team.
There was a bunch of new guys. It was Delray's first year, and so it was something that I think TCU, y'all got a lot of playing time that game. Let's talk about that.
A ton. I think I had a double-double. But I mean, like it was surely because I was out there for 30 minutes. It was not quality, it was quantity.
Yeah, I think the score was like 180 to something.
It was 20. Yeah, they beat us by 60.
That's what we were talking about before. They told us what they were going to score against us.
Yeah.
They're like, we're gonna hit 200.
We're not proud of this, I mean, I know that we joke about it, but we have to laugh about it now.
We have to laugh about it now.
Through all of the mud and everything that we went through, look at how we're shining, right? Look at the friendships that were built. And we talk about that all the time. We talk about it all the time. It's like, I tell Matt, I text him sometimes. I'm like, man, if anything, through the good and the bad, through the ups and the downs, we develop friendships. And this podcast is bringing people together.
Yep.
I mean, when we post, it's crazy, Micah. Like when we post it on Facebook and then we see a conversation between 2 people that hadn't spoken in like 15, 16 years, and they're like,
great.
man, what are you up to? What are you doing?
Was it?
That's what it's all
I
about.
texted Braxton after y'all did Shane. It was
Yeah.
you know, I was like, bro, do you remember whenever he rented us a car and let us drive to Houston, like from the valley, because we didn't get to go on a road trip. Like, well, we're going home. We couldn't get a car. Neither one of us had a car. He rented us a car. Like one of the greatest, one of the best dudes on the planet.
Shout out to Shane Peterson, man. He's got Cinnaholic in Edinburgh now. And if y'all are listening to this, man, please go and check it out on Trenton Road. It's one of the best desserts, man. It's all vegan. I mean, it's healthier than your know your regular stuff that you go.
Yeah, he won't rent you a rent-a-car, but he will feed you.
But his cinnamon,
he'll feed you a cinnamon roll.
Yeah, he'll feed you, man. But hey, shout out to him, man.
He's been
so kind, man. Yeah, he's been a friend of the show. He's been such a support system, since we've had him on the show, and yeah, man, he is a really good dude.
And he's even talking about naming a cinnamon roll after the show. There's going to be it's going to be a saddle up cinnamon roll. He's going to announce that in March. Yeah,
we got to y'all got to go check that out, man. I think we have a little bit of a say in what ingredients we're going to want on it, man.
Well, you should. It's your cinnamon.
I'm excited about it, Micah.
Yeah.
I mean,
can we call it 8 seconds?
Not as
8
excited,
seconds.
man.
We're going to call it a year and a half. That's what we're going to call it.
Well, it felt like 8 seconds. We make Micah makes reference to 8 seconds because that was it was one of our favorite movies when we were at Pan American. It was that Lane Frost movie. If anybody, every time I bring it up, they're like, "Gee, what movie are y'all talking about? Like, what is that?"
The fact that you don't have a Lane Frost picture behind you right now is disappointing.
It is the most disappointing thing right now. I mean, you bringing it up is, I'm disappointed in myself.
How many times did you ever walk into that apartment when they had Braveheart on, like on repeat? Remember Braveheart was on VHS and it had the two VHS, like it was like the Titanic, right? It was like two VHS. Somebody had to get up.
Braveheart 8 seconds.
The second one to continue the movie, and it was freezing cold in that apartment.
Oh yeah, I slept on that couch a few times, and it was they didn't have cable. You just watched 2 movies, either Braveheart or 8 seconds.
And 8 seconds. That's right.
And I usually 8 seconds.
Later on,
one box of Honey Nut Cheerios that stayed there for like 4 years on the top of the fridge.
We had Major League. We had Major League also, but Major League was never watched as much as the other 2.
That's a good one too, though.
No, it was a classic.
It's funny since y'all started doing this whole podcast thing. Like I've talked to Shannon Howard. Shannon was my sleepmate. I'm a freshman. So speaking of shout out to Shannon Howard, we had those 4:30 a.m. workouts.
Yeah,
remember the early morning workouts? Well, dude would come. Let's just say he was a different kind of cat. So I was never allowed to lock my door because I had a refrigerator. He would keep the champagne of beer in the refrigerator. And this dude would come. I'm not kidding you. He would come into my room after working out with nothing but flip-flops and a towel around his neck, walk over there, grab a beer, go get in the shower after working out. I mean, he was like 23 at the time. So,
Shannon, man, if you watch this, dude, I'm sure you're,
I'm sending it to Shannon. Once this thing airs, I'm sending it to him. He's going to laugh.
He always had incense burning. Dude, it was him. And then you had, Palmquist and Jerron across the hall.
Ooh, shout out to Cool.
This is who you call, what was it? Who you call Cool?
Who you call Cool?
Yeah. We don't want to put Jerron on blast like that, but we're going to talk about that story when Jerron comes on.
Oh,
we're definitely because we need his side of the story, right? It's not fair.
Oh, yeah.
He needs to rebut. He needs a rebuttal, look, Cool. This is what we remember. We're going to let you tell your side. Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Micah. So you're a freshman, right? And obviously G went through it. I went through it. We all went through it at different phases, right? But you're a freshman. I think there was you were the only freshman that came in that year because Braxton and Beamer were transfers. So, like, you were the only freshman at the time that was on that team. What was it like? Like, what did you coming from high school to now D1 ball, like, what were your thoughts? Like, what was going through your head where it was like, did I make the right choice, or am I in too deep? Or, what I'm saying? Like, I kind of want to get a sense of what you were going through.
What have I done?
Yeah, everything there was so chaotic to begin. I mean, from the style of basketball that he tried to get us to play to who we were playing. So it wasn't like we were jumping in there in my first game and playing against. And actually, you know what? Funny story. Speaking of our first game, Monterey Tech.
Yeah.
So if y'all remember, we played Monterey Tech that game, and Delray was gone. And I was telling my son, I was like, son, we'll have these, car talks, on the way back from practice, picking him up. I was like, my first game against Monterey Tech, my coach completely forgot I was even on the bench. Coach Morgan, he didn't play me until there was like 2 or 3 minutes left in the game. And after the game's over with, he goes, bro, I completely forgot you were on the bench. He apologized. I'm like, thanks,
I actually remember that.
Yeah,
I remember you telling
bench,
me that.
I'm going to get to play, Nope. I'm sitting there first half, no play time. Second half, no play time. As soon as I got in the game, I'm shooting. So I got, I think I scored like 4 points in 2 minutes. But, overall, honestly, it wasn't that bad because I had so many of the seniors and the juniors and the older guys. It wasn't like they were just a jerk. Everybody was pretty accepting. Yeah. I think the big thing was the new staff trying to make such a big change. Yeah. I mean, you got Delray coming from Kentucky. You got, whatever, that was his whole sell. I'm in Kentucky. We're going to win. We're going to run the style that we ran at,
we're going to press. Kentucky. Yeah, exactly.
And it was, I'll say this, I was in the best shape of my life. There was no doubt.
Yeah.
But do you recall when they were trying to hire a coach, and Delray was obviously the one that was hired, but they would bring in coaches to interview the team. You remember that? Do you remember the one coach that talked about getting the most out of his team and taking them into the shower and throwing glass bottles at them?
No.
What? You don't remember that? Yeah. Yeah. Throwing. It was a story. It was a story that this coach that was actually interviewing, and he says, "Hey, I'll even go this far." He was telling us, "I want you all to bond so much that I don't mind being the a-hole. I don't mind being the jerk. I mean, I'll put you all in the shower and throw glass bottles at you, and they'll break behind you just so you all can gel together and hate me. You can hate me." I said, I'm looking over at Micah. I'm looking over at Lalo. I'm like, man, are you serious? So
what is going on? Right, I don't remember that. I remember I remember Delray coming in. I remember Delray coming in, and then well, obviously Micah wasn't there because that was the spring of my freshman year. But I remember Delray coming in and watching us play pickup, and then I remember Vic Trilly, who was the assistant at UT, that came in and applied for that job. And I think it was between him and Delray.
It was between him and Delray. Yeah.
But I remember when I stepped foot on campus in August, and Micah, you had already kind of been there, or you already knew G. So we were introduced at like the kind of like the first meeting or whatever before we start playing pickup games and stuff. And I always remember you being so freaking talented, not an ounce of athleticism, but so talented. Like,
hey, Matt, come on, man. Don't call him out. That's a great way of
putting that. Hey, can you please just blur that out?
Can you edit that out, please?
Yeah, my son's gonna watch that.
Hey, look, I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. But I remember you being so talented, and you were just just smooth. He
had a massive man. How about that spin move inside though?
Oh yeah,
right over his right shoulder. I mean, you couldn't stop it.
No,
I still remember spin move right over the right shoulder. A little shot. Yeah,
I still remember
absolutely.
it too.
Hey, we're going to make you look good here, man.
I appreciate that. Just keep it coming. Let's go.
Yeah.
We're getting you daddy points, man. Some brownie points with your son, dude. Hey, speaking of your son, man, talk a little bit about your son's accomplishments. I know that
heard he's a stud.
Your oldest is a stud, just like the dad, man, just like the father.
No, he's way more talented than dad.
Yeah. So what's up with him, man? Is he getting recruited? He's a quarterback, basketball guy? What's going on? Baseball?
So he's baseball and football, and he hadn't really decided what he wants to do yet. I think from the dad side of me, it's like, bro, don't just go play baseball. You watch him. You watch the
guaranteed money.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, hey, if you get hurt, you play pro ball, it all gets coming to you. Yeah. But and it drives me crazy because my wife, we go to football games, she's just yelling, screaming. She's just yelling. I mean, we know.
Shout out to Rebecca. Yeah,
we know
Shout
Rebecca.
Shout out, Rebecca. You're gonna watch this.
But you put a phone in her hand and a game on, and she goes crazy. I'm like, hey, sit down, stop. But I don't know if he knows 100% what he wants to do yet. He's talked to some schools. Most of the football schools have said they'd move him to tight end, and he played tight end.
Yeah.
But and like I told him, it's like your body will thank you later, after playing baseball rather than football. But right now,
what grade is he in?
He's a junior.
Okay.
So he's talked to 7 different schools for football.
It's gonna come. Yeah.
Camps this summer. But I'm hoping he chooses baseball. They're in the middle of baseball season right now.
Hey, he'll make the right decision no matter what, man.
How fortunate would you be if he ends up getting recruited by UTRGV and the son steps foot on campus?
No, it's funny.
That'd be awesome.
He has been recruited by them, and I told him, I was like, hey, dude, that place is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sunshine all the time. It's great weather. It's perfect baseball weather. I was like, that would be, and you're the king when you go down there.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That would be a great place to go. It's one of those places, like, if you have the opportunity, we'll go down there and check it out.
Yeah. And he'll be close to Uncle G. So if he needs anything, man, we're right. Exactly. I mean, we're an hour away. Woo, boy, let's do it.
Always have a place on the podcast too. As long as
that's right. Well,
as long as he plays longer than a year and a half.
Well, we'll work on that. Maybe we'll go for 2 years.
Get grandfathered in. So Micah, man, you're at Pan Am. We'd love to kind of ask some questions about that time. Favorite place to eat, man? What was your go-to?
Oh, dude, what was the place right across from the school? Because that's where they took us to go eat. Oh, dude, actually anywhere, but I mean,
yeah, you're not picky.
Yeah, no, Micah would never say no to a free meal, man. Come on.
What was it? The Batana plate or whatever it was, right across the street from the school.
Las Brasas or something.
Yes,
like that.
Yes, that place was good.
Yeah.
But I was so poor at the time. I mean, you look back at it,
we talk about those days all the time. Yeah,
dude, whatever. Yeah. I mean, pizza, whatever we could get our hands on.
Domino's, there was that Domino's across the street, like
Buffy's cafeteria card, whatever. I mean, whatever came our way, man. Whatever we could use.
Yeah.
Shout out to Buff.
Shout out to Buffy, man, for being so gracious during that time.
Michelle always had money on her card too. Michelle always hooked us up.
Man, Michelle and Buffy, just use the card, man. You want extra food, use the card.
Yeah,
man, we wouldn't have made it without those women. I'm telling you right now, they just took care of us. Shout out to Michelle, Buffy, man. Come on the show, Buff. Hey, if you out there, wherever you are, come on the show, girl. It's gonna be okay.
On the show.
Okay, clip that, Matt.
Yeah. All right, so let's we're running short on time, and G, let's take it away with the sandwich questions. Rapid fire, baby. Yep, let's do it.
Speed round, Micah. It's this or that, man.
On, bro.
Yeah. I got old dude, man. I put them on at the end so the glare doesn't affect the millions of people that watch this podcast. So all right, let's do this. I'm going to ask you a question, this or that. You got to answer it really quick, man. Don't think about it too much. I know you weren't really good in the classroom, but this is the time where you can just have fun, relax. It's not a test.
Yep. If it's food, I'm good. Yeah.
All right, ready? Onion rings or fries?
Onion rings.
Batman or Superman?
Superman.
Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan, of course.
Wow, the face that he made, though. We're not going to send this to Mikey. Mustard or ketchup?
Mayo.
Get this guy off. Sonic or Whataburger?
Whataburger.
Wow. Hot or cold?
Hot.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Mm-hmm. Peanut butter or jelly?
Peanut butter.
Lalo or Brian Molina?
Got to go B-Mole.
Wow. I'm sorry, Lalo. Layup or three-pointer?
Three-pointer.
For the big guy.
Got to.
He was ahead of his time. He was ahead of his time.
Man, like a Jokic type of guy.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Jokic.
Because I know you could dunk, but I don't think that you had
I had
many
one.
dunks.
I had one dunk in a
One
game.
dunk. I remember it.
It was one of the only games we won.
I was so excited.
Jacksonville State at home, or
It was Jacksonville. Yeah.
Jacksonville.
It was against what's his name's brother? What is his name?
Yeah.
Aaron. Golly, his brother played for the Lakers.
Yeah.
Aaron.
Oh,
Oh my God, what is his name? I'm gonna
All right,
edit
we'll
all
get
this
back to it.
anyways.
We'll get
Yeah.
back. We'll get back.
What
to
were
it. All right, last question.
What were the dudes that used to come play?
Aaron
with us?
Fox. Aaron Fox
Aaron
was
Fox.
in Jacksonville. Yep.
Really?
Rick Fox's brother.
That's right. Rick Fox's brother. Matt, good memory, man. Good job.
That's pretty impressive.
Hey, last one, Micah. Pelito or a full set of hair?
Pelito.
Yes, sir.
Dude,
Thank you, Micah.
The fact that you threw that in there,
I did. I had to, man. You
I
know,
appreciate that, bro.
it's okay.
Oh my
But
God.
let me give you the backstory of Pelito before we go. Okay.
Let's be careful.
Micah. No, I'm very careful. Very careful with this. Micah had the most perfect hair. All right. It was always neatly combed with like tons of gel.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think he would use like for the
It was a
amount of
little
hair that
product.
he had, he
I had
would
a little
overuse the product. Overuse. I'm like, I'd be like, Micah, you don't need that much product. And he's
He
like, there's
Always
no
faded. Like he
there's
was.
no such thing.
Hey,
Yeah.
it was. What was Marcus used to cut my hair? That's my first ball fade I ever got.
Marcus
That's
Green.
right, man.
Was at the dorms.
So he had to look like just perfect, and the little hair, you know. I just call him little hair in Spanish, pelito.
Well, Micah
Thank you,
McAdams,
Micah.
thanks so much for joining the show this week, man. It's been an honor to call you a friend for so many years, and I know we give you shit all the time about your time or lack of time at the university, but
Quality.
you're a brother of ours, man, for sure. And when you left that middle of the year, right? You left fall or prior to spring semester.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't the same, man. It just felt different, and so.
Yeah, Frida's definitely wasn't the same.
Yeah,
The
we
Alaskan?
quit going to Frida's
No.
a long time ago, but yeah,
The Alaskan
felt-
Alaskan wasn't the same either.
the locker room wasn't the same, man. And so I just wanted
Yeah.
to say that you're a brother of mine, and you're welcome back to the show. And I wish your sons all the success. And if you're listening, choose baseball because your dad was a stud in baseball. So, yeah. So,
All right, guys, I appreciate you having me. Thanks a lot.
Micah, appreciate
back
you, man.
anytime, my
Thank
man.
you for being on the show. Yes, sir.
till next week, guys. Bees up.
Bees
Do
up.
it, G. We're the balloons.
Like we weren't supposed to come up with something this clean. You know, like something happened